Tennessee 3. Democrats on the House floor for a day on out of order rule. So check this out. The Republican lawmakers, the bigoted, racist Republican lawmakers down in Tennessee are at it again, call themselves bringing silence to the Tennessee Three, whom they expelled earlier because they dare protest um, unjustly actions, or unjust actions, I should say, from the Republicans. And they were expelled. They won their seat back. And now they're at it again. According to USA Today, the Tennessee House Democratic Caucus on Monday walked off the floor of the lower chamber to protest a disciplinary vote against a member of the so called Tennessee Three, sparking a scene remarkably similar to legislative protests earlier this year in which the freshman Democrat was expelled from the General Assembly. Lawmakers voted 70 to 20 to discipline Representative Justin Jones after House Speaker Cameron Sexton twice ruled Jones out of order during the House floor session Monday afternoon for what Sexton saw as Jones speaking off topic on the bills at hand. Well, Republicans do it every day, so what's the big deal? They're disrespectful, they're honoring, they're ignorant, they're even blasphemous at times. And they even got the nerve to call themselves Christians. So when a black lawmaker does the same thing, I guess it's a boy who needs to be chastised. Is that it? I could think of some other things to say, but I won't say them in front of this camera. Now back to the story. The disciplinary vote meant Jones was silenced for the remainder of the floor session, though he could cast votes. A second vote during this special session could lead to a 3-day silencing. The Democratic caucus left the floor en masse in what they said was solidarity and frustration with the unfair application of House rules. The 10th House floor session came as Tennessee lawmakers returned a second week of a special session that Republican Governor Bill Lee called in response to the deadly Covenant school shooting in Nashville in March. The House and Senate remained in a deadlock over various proposals as demonstrators and families expressed their frustration over the legislative process. Republican lawmakers attempted to get the House floor session back on track after the Democrats left, as members of the gallery above erupted in anger with yells of racist and fascist. Sexton had gavelled Jones out of order during Monday debate in what has become a frequent interaction between the House leader and the freshman Nashville Democrat, who visibly riles members of the supermajority while regularly challenging their bills in floor speeches. Jones had planned to introduce a letter calling for a vote of no confidence in Sexton at the end of the floor session. The House is out of order under Cameron Sexton's leadership. This is very disheartening. This is very troubling. This is a step toward authoritarianism, and we should all be troubled by this, Jones said. Our Democratic caucus was united. We walked out because that's a charade, a sham happening in there. The people are united in challenging authoritarianism. The Monday vote came under controversial rules House Republicans passed last week. They're always passing something, always trying to change the rules of engagement that allow new disciplinary actions to be taken against members for decorum issues on the floor. House Democrats last week decried the rules, arguing House Republicans, through their supermajority, hold the power to define what might be out of order. The problem here is you have the discretion to say what is or isn't out of order, said House Minority Leader Karen Campter said to Sexton. Members were asking what was out of order. It appeared to me the little bit I did hear is the member was trying to make an analogy with respect to the bill. The vote against Jones on Monday threw Democratic previous objections to the rule changes in sharp relief. His Democratic colleagues tried to get clarity on the House floor about what specifically Jones said that was out of order. At least one lawmaker asked for a transcript of what Jones said, which Sexton said wasn't required under the rules. That's called bull, and you know it. It's called racism. It's called bigotry. That's what it's called. Representative Justin Pearson rose to point out that Representative Gino Bolso had been gavelled out of order twice while presenting a different bill, but the House clerk argued Sexton had issued first an unofficial warning to Bousso before finding him out of order. This explanation appeared to infuriate the public gallery and Democrats on the floor. As the vote went down, the crowd screamed at Sexton, yelling, "This is a fascist state, and you're racist." Chants only grew louder as state troopers began swarming the gallery to clear it. Demonstrators stayed in their seats as troopers began asking them to leave, but slowly cleared out into the halls to continue chanting. Meanwhile, in the Democrats' absence, through House Bill 7073, a section-sponsored bill that would allow some teenagers to be sentenced as adults in criminal courts, code word, blacks. This is still the way it is. Black people. Because this law is only going to discriminate against black youths. Point blank. In the attempt to justify locking them up on minor charges. To make the Corrections Corporation of America even richer. Privatization, whatever you want to call it. Criminal justice advocates last week testified against the bill, arguing that it would have negative effects on rehabilitation efforts for young people who are still maturing. Prior to the Joneses' discipline vote, the House passed a number of bills related to mental health funding and providing firearm storage locks. The majority of the bills passed with bipartisan support. Y'all shouldn't support anything that these Republicans want down in Tennessee. See, that's the weakness of you Democrats. You are too eager to appease these Republicans. You're too eager to go along with whatever they want. You should oppose them the same way that Senator Mitch McConnell and all the rest of them opposed Barack Obama for 8 years when he was a decent president of this nation. Stop agreeing with these people. They will lie, cheat, and steal to stay in office. The majority of the bills passed with bipartisan support, though Democrats often cast their votes through gritted teeth, arguing, see, this is what I mean. The proposed changes were an anemic response to the problem of gun violence in Tennessee communities. Then why would you vote with them? That's how the Biden crime bill, when he was Senator Biden, came into being, because Democrats were too eager to vote with Republicans. And who did it affect disproportionately? Black people. That's where you got the 3 strikes law from. Oftentimes, we have short memories. Our memories shouldn't be dim. They shouldn't be short. Know your history. Study. Stay woke. I don't care what DeSantis says. Stay woke. There are no pats on the back or moral victories for passing legislation that actually isn't going to make our children safer, Pearson said. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender. Never quit.